What's going on, everybody? It's a sunny day here today in Suburbia, but we have an AMA to do. So thought we would just do it out in the garage. The rest of the house is still being remodeled, so it's kind of the only place we can do it. But before we start, I'd like to just say thank you for all the positive messages on the one regular sandwich video. I didn't really expect it to blow up the way it did, and I now have 5,000 plus new subscribers, which is kind of the reason why we're doing this video, because a lot of you guys were confused without the context for the video. It's a little odd just to see everything happen the way it does. So if you didn't see the AMA, it's in the community posts. I'll be posting there often to keep up with you guys. If you want to join in on the next activity, make sure you keep an eye out or turn your notifications on or something. Alright, so username Generico, after stating several manufacturing dates of items seen throughout my videos, asks what year does Brawlers World take place in, and what is Meow's favorite soft drink? Brawlers World takes place in the year 3333, but all the items in Brawlers World are stuck in the 2000s and prior because culture and technology did not progress past the 2000s. This is because of the apocalyptic demon invasion in the 2000s, so every human effort being made towards any sort of technology in scientific fields, etc., needed to be all put towards stopping the demon invasion, but this was not successful, leaving Earth frozen in time. And Meow's favorite soft drink is Pepsi Blue. Kay asks, what's the deal between humans and demons? I feel like it's changed a bit over time, and it's never been super clear. Does anyone live in Zone Zero besides Aoi and the robots? And does Meow have any neighbors? Finally, what would a relationship chart look like between the characters? So to start with the first one, the current relationship between humans and demons is completely normal. But when the demons first invaded Earth, they were animalistic, instinct-driven creatures that were attacking humans based on that instinct. There was no thoughts, they were just exterminating the human race for currently unknown reasons. But in the 1,000 years since then, they have evolved at a rapid rate to take over the society that humans did not exist in anymore. They've become completely assimilated and continued the way of life that humans left behind. Since Meow came in to this part of the timeline, it's completely normal to her, and she doesn't see herself any different than the demons that surround her. And vice versa, they have lost all their instincts to attack humans, and they view Meow as just one of them. Does anyone live in Zone Zero besides Aoi and the robots? Zone Zero is filled to the brim with hardworking demons, whereas Aoi and the robots are there to maintain and protect them. And does Meow have any neighbors? Yes, Meow has neighbors, and she gets along with them very well. And then finally, a relationship chart between characters would look like this. Okay, next question. Cubic3423 asks, what is Meow's sexuality? Does Brawlers World exist in a simulation? They're asking because Meow went into a hard drive in the sandwich video. Does Meow and Honey have any specific dislikes or likes that are worth mentioning? And finally, what is Meow's favorite video game and why is it Wipeout Pure? So Meow's sexuality, I don't think even she knows it because she hasn't found anyone that makes her feel any which way. It's pretty unexplored for her. Brawlers World does not exist in a simulation. It is real. The hard drive bit was just supposed to be a little funny, a little non-canonical, just because I wanted to do a fan servicey video for people who are familiar with my content. Meow and Honey's specific dislikes or likes. Honey dislikes Meow very much, and Meow dislikes Honey very much. And then Meow likes mini golf, and Honey likes charcuterie. Honey's job is that she is the CEO of everything. Honey Corp rules every single chain, every single business, every single franchise, every single IP is under their parent company. This world is run by her. And Meow's favorite video game is that one Legoland Tycoon game. Alright, so next question is from Astroged7. They ask, what's the relationship between all the characters? Honey and Meow went to school together and they were close friends until something happened and Honey and Meow's eternal conflict began. From then on, Honey went out to search for limitless power, which I will talk more about at some other point. I can't really reveal too much. And Meow went to a quieter life, working living at home with Appy, playing video games and drinking soda all the time. And Appy was also growing up around them when this happened, so he knows everything, but he really has no stake in it. Now, Aoi and Junko, their relationship starts from when they were both prototyped. Junko was the test mule for Aoi, which means that parts were being developed using Junko's chassis as this platform, this temporary place to install and test parts until Aoi's was ready. And then once Aoi was ready, they ripped all the parts off of Junko and put them on Aoi, which was a finished product. And so all these parts that gave Junko life were ripped away from her, which we'll go more into depth on the Junko miniseries. I don't really want to talk about it too much just yet. The Yap154 asked, did Meow Meow ever get the regular sandwich? No. Kells asked, do you have a reference sheet that we can use that you made for your low poly characters? Nope, I don't actually. I kind of actually work best in 3D first, so sorry, I don't have reference sheets. Logan Burnett 6902 asked, how did Meow Meow and Appy meet each other? Or are you leaving that ambiguous? So Appy and Meow Meow went to school together growing up, but they were never really close, and on the night that Honey and Meow Meow had their falling out is coincidentally when Meow Meow actually met Appy personally, and from then on they were kind of just best friends. Zol_H asks, where else can we see more of your work? You can follow any of my socials, Newgrounds, go to my personal website. I have a little portfolio there. It only works on PC right now, so if you're on phone, I would recommend checking one of these links. Okay, Red Beach asks, how can I get to Brawlers World? Brother, you're already in it. Quirtuiop3005 asked, are you Brawlers World? Yes. Quirtuiop3005 also asks, real question, how do I make a cool website like you? I used Rive to make this modern version of my website. It's basically like this answer to Flash in the modern era. I think it's usually used to make animated assets for a website that you then put in a website builder. But I am instead building my whole website within the Rive file and then instantiating the Rive file on my website, as if you were doing a .swf file. All right, this is Asdam asks a pretty complex question. I'm gonna try not to ramble on, but I'm sorry. They asked, the regions that you have created, the Furnace, Zone 0, and the suburbs, are very distinct. What are the connections between these areas? What separates them? How large are they, and what would they look like on a map? They followed up with how much of the information about the world and characters is supposed to be interpreted by the viewers. And finally, a simple yes or no question, do you know how it all ends? So I'm going to start with the first one. So the connection for Zone 0 and the Furnace is their origins and their purpose. The Furnace was formerly called Zone 1. And Zone 1 and Zone 0 were both meant to build the robots that were given the task to protect humanity. Zone 0 was more of a fail-safe location. Zone 1 was the primary factory for the robots. Of course, things got too dangerous, too uninhabitable, and the production of the robots had to be ceased, and the remainder of the project had to be taken to Zone 0 in the middle of the ocean. This didn't save them, because there are no humans left in Zone 0. And the identity of Zone 1 was wiped over the next 1,000 years, as demons had given it their own nickname, the Furnace. Both of these places are also stationed over large other side deposits, which I will get into later. Suburbia currently does not have a known connection to either of these facilities, and actually, these facilities are so far away from Suburbia that most people who live in Suburbia don't even know of their existence. They don't even know about the robots. Vice versa, people in the Furnace, people in Zone 0 don't know about each other either, and they don't know about anyone in Suburbia. Although Aoi and her robots are very aware of Suburbia's existence because Zone 0 has now become an exporting, importing facility. And I mentioned the other side portals, which is kind of this unknown still for most of you guys, but it's been in my writings for years at this point. So I'll go over it very briefly. The demons come from a place called the Other Side, which is a realm between realms, a world between worlds. When the demon invasion started, portals from the Other Side started spawning all over Earth, feeding demons a direct gateway to every single part of Earth, which is why they were able to wipe out humans in such a short amount of time, all things considered. Humans knew of the power that the other side brought, which is what they were using to power the robots Aoi and Junko during their projects, hence why Zone 0 and Zone 1, aka the furnace, are both stationed over other side deposits. Alright, next question from This Is Asdam about the interpretation of the world and the characters. How much are you supposed to interpret? A lot. I leave a lot of details intentionally in there for those who want to interpret as much as they can, because I have written all this for 5 years now. I have so much to share. It is just a technical limitation at the moment because I am working solo. And do I know how it all ends? Yes. Okay, next question. Napkin Pepper 5472 asked, I'd like to know more about the other knots. I guess not really a question, but I know what you mean. If you don't know, the other knots only appeared in like one video of test shots for the Junko miniseries. The other knots are basically astronauts for the other side. They're humanity's explorers into this phenomenon that they didn't understand when the portals first appeared. Iscan Editor asked, what is Brawlers World? How do you first start doing it? And what's the lore behind the videos themselves? So Brawlers World is like my blanket term for all my projects because I am Brawler and this is my world, and I thought it sounded cool together. But I actually first started doing it back in 2013, 2014, when the brand was called Brawlers of 1986. And it wasn't really like a brand per se, it was just kind of like my online handle, and I wanted to create cool physical merch. But if we're talking about this era of Brawlers World, in 2019 I designed a poster with Aoi on it. And in 2020 I went full-time into Blender right at the beginning of COVID, and the rest is history. Kind of just snowballed to here. And the lore behind the videos themselves is, I think I kind of covered it with some of the other ones, so I hope you're okay with taking an IOU on that. And I think that's everything for the AMA. That's all from the post. So let's wrap it up so this isn't too much longer. But yeah, thanks everybody for giving Brawlers a chance. Everybody who joined from the sandwich video, I appreciate it. You know, go to my website. I have free games there. There's some wallpaper packs if you're on PC. And follow on the other platforms to see what I post in between, because I'm always working on this. Yeah, alright. And and I will be doing a merch drop at some point because I have some stuff lined up that I've had in my closet for too long. So if you're interested in an Appy figurine, keep an eye out for the dates. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye bye now. Bye bye.